So now we're going to start the analysis of the actual piece. So we're going to start with just the beginning section and really look in detail at the fugal style of it. Okay, so we are in D major, as we discussed previously. We are in cut common time, so that is that symbol there, which is alla breve, and is actually in 4/2. So all of my examples on Sibelius, I'm afraid, are in 4/2 because I couldn't get it to do cut common time properly. So we've said it's fugal entry, so highly contrapuntal in texture. The tenor starts with the subject there. Ein fester Burgens unser Gott. So that's our theme A, the subject. We have tied notes in there, and that drives the music forward. And you can see also that the viola is doubling the tenor. So as we were saying earlier, the instrumentation, the orchestra actually doubles the choir quite significantly. Then we have the answer in bar 3 in the altos. So you can see here that it starts on an A, whereas beforehand we started on a D. So you can either say that's up a 5th or down a 4th, okay? So that is the answer. So that's our typical fugal structure. The tenor then continues with the counter subject, which is our second phrase, Ein guter Wehr und Waffen. Okay, so phrase 1, Ein fester Burg ist unser Gott, and then the counter subject, which is our phrase 2, is that one there. We'll have another little listen in a minute. Then we have the soprano come in with the subject. So you can see here the subject's there because it starts on a D. So that's the soprano. And then, so the alto continues on with the counter subject. Sorry. And then the bass has the answer down here, starting on an A, and then the soprano carries on with the counter subject. Just there, I haven't marked it in, but that's what would happen. We also have a brief modulation to A major in bar 2, but it's passing modulation. We don't stay in it for very long. As you can see here, we're back in D major by the time we get there. So we have another listen. Subject. Answer, counter subject in the tenor, subject, counter subject in the altos, and then bass, answer. Okay, so the next section then, bar 10, if we have a listen, the thing we're listening out for is an ascending sequence. So we have here, I'll play it again. So we have 2 bits of ascending sequence. So we start there, we have a pattern, it repeats again, a note up. So it's an ascending sequence, and then that's repeated up 2 notes this time. We're in G major in bar 12. I'm not going to put up all the examples on my PowerPoint, otherwise my PowerPoint would be really, really long and take up a lot of memory. So you can just mark it into your scores. There is a annotated score on Hazefield Panda for you to compare with, as well as this PowerPoint and video if you need to. Bar 12, the oboe comes in with the subject or theme A in canon with the violin. So I can show you that on my score here. So there's the oboe, do, 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 and then the violin comes on with it down there, starting on the G as well, and it goes on to the other page, okay? We pass through A major in bar 14. Bar 16, we have theme A in the soprano. So the little numbers means the beat, but these are minim beats. Okay, so I'll just show you bar 16. Here we go. So we've got 1 minim, 2 minim, beat 3, third minim. Ein fair. Not the right pitch, but the right rhythm. Okay, so there, that is bar 16, beat 3, minim beats, and that is the soprano with theme A. We'll listen to it properly in a minute. Bar 17, short modulation to A major again. Bar 21, beat 3, we're in G major. Bar 22 onwards, we have lots of fragments of other phrases of the chorale are introduced, just to give us an idea of what's ahead of us. And the vocal lines become a lot more scalic and melismatic. So if I show you that, you can see all of these running scales. So obviously the violin 2 and the alto are doubled, but you can see those running scales, scalic passages. Okay. And remember, melismatic, more than one note per syllable. The opposite of that is syllabic, one note per syllable. Bar 24, beat 3, back to G major. And then bar 24/4, oboe has phrase 2 of the melody or the counter subject. And then also in bar 27, beat 3, we have a long tonic pedal in the violin and organ. So we can have a look at that tonic pedal just there, and it continues on. Okay. So let's have a listen to that section. Okay, now moving on to bars 30 to 60. This is actually a repeat of the first 30 bars, you'll be pleased to hear, but starting on beat 3 of bar 30. So I thought I'd just analyse this first section with you again to reinforce that fugal entry system that we saw at the beginning, so you really understand it. So have a listen. Okay, so that's the whole of bars 30 to 60 on that recording here, so you can play it and listen to it, but we're just going to stop it for this section here. Okay, so bar 30, beat 4, we're back in D major to do this section again. We have phrase 3, which is still our theme A. Okay, so it's different words, but it's the same melody as we had before. Okay. We have a brief modulation to A major again, same place. Then we have the answer in the altos, just like we did before. So what are we going to have on in the tenors? The counter subject. Good. That is the phrase 4. Die uns ist hat betroffen. Then we have the sopranos with the theme again. So starting on a D, so that's a theme. So then the alto continues on with the counter subject, and then we have the bass coming in with the answer because it's on an A, etc. So it's the same analysis as before, so you can have a look through and fill it in your books. So if I show you in my score, I've annotated in, and then I've got my ascending sequence there again in the sopranos, just like I did before. Same idea. Okay, so then moving on to bar 60 to 82, we have something slightly different going on. So have a quick listen. So I've already mentioned I love this phrase. It is very funky the way they stop the note. So this is theme B or phrase 5, and it starts in the bass. So it's a new theme. We've not had this before. Okay. Der alte Bo. Excuse the low singing. I'm not a bass. Okay. And then we have it in the tenor, up a fifth. So if we've got D and then up a fifth to an A. Then again, up a fifth again in the alto, starting on an E again, and then up a fifth again in the soprano, starting on a B. So each time it goes up a fifth. So it's not like the fugue we had at the beginning where we would have seen the subject, the answer, the subject, the answer. This time we just keep going up a fifth. So it creates a circle of fifths. So we start in D major, then we go to A major, then E minor, then B minor, and then F sharp minor. So this creates this lovely circle of fifths, which creates a really interesting harmony. So if you get an essay question asking about harmony, please do talk about this section in the book because it is lovely. Lovely circle of fifths, gets you lots of marks. So have another little listen and listen to that circle of fifths. Okay, lovely. Continuing on then, bar 69, the oboe comes in with phrase 5 in canon with the violin. So this will happen all the time. The oboe comes in with theme B or phrase 5, and then the violin will come in a couple of beats later in canon. And then we have a really lovely, tasty diminished chord. So this is a great harmony note to make. So if you hear the diminished chord, so we're going to have a listen to it. So bar 71. Here is the diminished chord here. So we have the G sharp, we have the B, we have the D, and then the F natural, because remember a diminished seventh chord is made up of minor thirds. Okay, so we'll have a listen to this section. And then here's the oboe. Oh, sorry. Oh, wrong audio clip. I will fix that for you. I'm not going to remake the video, but I will fix that for you on Hazefield Panda, but you can listen to that anyway at another time. Then bar 72, we go to A major. The alto part sings phrase 6, which is mit ernst. That's bar 72. Bar 74, we go to F sharp minor. Bar 75, we go to B minor. Bar 76, E minor. Bar 78, B minor. Bar 79, the oboe plays phrase 6 in canon with the violin again. So if we have a look at that, bar 79, there's the oboe coming in with phrase 6, and there it comes in the violin. Okay. Bar 80, we go to A major. Bar 81, the D major chord actually sounds like chord 5 of G major. So here we have a D major chord, okay, there, a D major chord, because we are going on to the next section, which obviously is going to be in G major, because we've had that D chord, which sounds like chord 5 of G, and then we've moved to G major here in bar 82. Okay, and this whole section we have a rapid succession of keys. So let's have a listen. Okay, so there we have G major, then we go to D major, then we go to A major, then we go to B minor, then we go to F sharp minor, then we go to A major. And then with the theme, we have our new theme, theme C. It is a new theme, which is phrase 7. There it is. The gross macht on V list. And then we get the bass singing that. And then we get the alto singing that. And then we get the soprano singing that. And then we have it in the oboe, in canon, with violin. Okay, so have another little listen to that theme coming in. In the alto, in the soprano, in the oboe, okay. Moving on then, again, just look at your scores. Bar 90 is C sharp minor. We'll have a listen as we flip through. So this is phrase 8, which is based on theme C. So if you just listen to that theme, that phrase 8, which is based on theme C again. Oh, 1 second. Okay, so you can really hear that similarities with the previous theme. Bar 91, F sharp minor. Bar 92, alto sings that phrase, then the tenor, and then the bass. So you can see patterns coming on. They all take it in turns to sing, creating this contrapuntal texture. Bar 96 is B minor. Bar 96, the oboe plays phrase 8 in canon with the violin. Can you see a pattern, everybody? So actually, it seems like there's a lot to analyse, but because there's so much repetition with all the ideas, there's not a lot to learn. Then bar 98, we have a dominant pedal again. So I'll show you that on the score. Bar 98, the dominant pedal there, which creates this chromatic climax, because this is the penultimate phrase. So let's have a listen to this pedal. Okay, and then that leads to phrase 9, which is bar 110. We're back to D major. We have lots of passing modulations until bar 106 when it returns to D major for the rest of the movement. Bar 110, tenor sings phrase 9, which is closely related to theme A, or the subject, so we're going to call it theme A1. Keep it nice and simple, which is that one. Let's have a listen. So you can hear it's just a more decorated version of our theme A. Then the bass comes in with theme A1, then the soprano sings theme A1, then the alto sings theme A1, then the oboe plays theme A1 in canon with the violin. same pattern again. And then bar 108 to the end, there's lots of melodic embellishments, so lots of scalic patterns and running around. Okay, then the violin and organ have a final tonic pedal to finish up, and we end up with an obvious perfect cadence of 1, 5, 7, 1 to finish. Okay, so let's have a listen to that final section. So that's the analysis of the first movement done. I hope you enjoyed it. Listen to it lots, read over your notes lots, make sure you understand everything. If there are any questions, please do email me and I will try to explain it again, or I can even set up a Zoom meeting with you to explain something if you need to. Have a lovely week. Bye.